Hello, everybody. Hope y'all are doing all right today. What's going on, Nightmare? Good to see you, sister. Hope you're doing all right. Are you able to hear me? Hey, Petras, how's it going? Nightmare, thank you. Hey, Haley Beth, good to see you. It's been a while. I've been gone for a week. Wafty, good to see you, brother. Came on a little earlier. Last week we had a bunch of glitchiness. Thank y'all. Thank you so much, Bakken. I appreciate it. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. Last week we had a bunch of glitchiness, so I came on a couple minutes earlier today, hoping that maybe we could prevent some of that. We'll see how it goes. It's great to see everybody. I was off TikTok for a week because I was traveling around. So hope everybody's doing all right. Hey, Amber Lee, good to see you. Good to see you, Elizabeth. So today we got a fun show. We got Dusty Graphics is going to be the guest. Wafty, yeah, man. Yeah, I went over to Virginia. I saw my brother and his family. Got to hang out with my nephew and my niece and his wife. And then I also went to the 60th birthday of my sergeant, my brother, for many years since I was in the Air Force. So, what's up, Bob? It's good to see you today, too, brother. Good to see you, man. DC, how are you, sir? So, thanks everybody for stopping in. Giving it a minute to populate. Then I'm going to try to reach out and grab Chad and see. Yeah, Bob, I know you were out too, man. I know you were out too. See if we can link up with Chad. Yeah, man, he turned 60. He's a good dude. I'm glad he made it. I'm good, DC. I hope you are, my friend. Natasha, good to see you. There's some Natasha art right there. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I really appreciate it. It's awesome to see all you guys. Hey, there's our guest tonight, y'all. Dusty Graphics. And I just realized I spelled something wrong just a minute ago. Oh, well. Well, Amber Lee, good to see you. Dusty, glad to see you in the house, brother. I'm really excited to have you on today. It's going to be a good day with Dusty on. That dude just walks around spreading love in the world, so I'm happy to have him on. Crimson Rose, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. I'm going to reach out here and see if I can find my buddy Chad. See if he's out there. Now, Chad may or may not show up. Chad was going to get some phones and do all kinds of stuff. Uh-oh, I see him. He's alive. There's movement. I just got a message, so there is a Chad sighting. Noah, what's happening? How's it going? It's good to see. It really is good to see everybody. Thank you all so much for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Going to be a good show today. We're just going to brag on some other artists on this platform. Uh-oh. And try to set a positive vibe for Dusty when he gets on here. And I don't know what to call fire flip you off, smile or sunglasses flip you off fire, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Petrus. Heard that. Wendy, right on. It's very nice to meet you, Wendy. Very nice to meet you. All right, I'm gonna see if gave it time for his. So we're gonna invite Chad. See how that goes. Time the whole thing fell apart when we did this section, so we'll see what happens. It should be fun. Tender Chocolate was the guest last week, and we had problems all the way up until about 3 minutes before she came on. But when she came on, everything worked. It was great. Did amazing. Yes, Gen is fine, Wendy. Gen is fine. My mom calls me Dion. A lot of people call me Gen. So, yeah, Gen is good. Gen is my stepfather's last name. The business is actually named after my stepfather. Hey, Saw. Good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. So it looks like Chad's overlords may have.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Chad's overlords,
What up, my
I think I
dude?
see Chad. Or is that a doppelganger of Chad that his overlords have sent? How do we test this out, folks? Glad to hear it, Saw. Glad to hear it. How do we test this out? How do we know if this is the real Chad Rev Art or some doppelganger sent by his overlords? It looks kind of like Chad. Chad, what is the name of the person? No, I'm kidding.
Wafty, Natasha. Oh my God, there's all these people coming in. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm sorry, guys. Now you know it's really me. I wasn't paying attention. That's how you know.
Oh, that's nothing
OG.
new.
What's up, Nightmare? Dude.
Dude, I hadn't got to give you grief in a week, so get ready.
I know. It's been a week. And you know what? TikTok was golden without your dumb ass.
Yeah, it didn't mind at all, did it?
I'm
Didn't mind
kidding.
at all.
Everybody I saw, dude, every time I went onto TikTok, everybody in their lives, whoa! I
Get out
mean,
of here.
tears. I mean, there was some people that were swimming through it, dude. Hi, Haley Beth. It was crazy.
I'm
I was like,
suspicious
click,
of that.
click, click. You know, I kept scrolling, and everywhere I
got
was
it.
just, boo.
It was
So,
that
guys, I
bad,
hope you're
was it?
happy. He's back. He's back, guys. He's back. And I'm back because I haven't been on since Thursday.
Well, you might notice I
Yeah.
have a slightly different complexion, and that has nothing to do with the fact that his overlords beamed me up and did experiments on me for a week.
It was the tractor beam, guys. It has that effect on skin like that.
When they turn the lights out, I still glow.
To the extreme.
I don't know what that's going to do in the long term, but we're going to ride it out and see what happens. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy.
Listen.
Yeah.
We need to
Yes,
keep
sir.
an eye out for Burnt Diva. We got to
Okay.
keep an eye out. If Burnt Diva shows up, I need an immediate notification because she
Okay.
sent me something, but I'm not going to show it off until she's on here. So just
Heard
a
that.
heads up, if I interrupt you for Burnt Diva, you be knowing.
That's my contemplative beard stroke. Burnt diva, eh?
Burnt
All right,
Diva.
you got it, moderators.
Thank you,
If you
Wafty.
see Burnt Diva, everybody point at her. Let us know. Don't let us miss her. Point at the Burnt Diva. Tag her,
Burnt
pin her,
Diva.
something. Do something. But be
Yeah.
nice. Be nice. But let us know. So, man, I thought what we would do today is what we didn't get to do last week, which was talk about all our friends and how they have some stuff available, how we have some stuff available, how some people have some stuff coming available.
Their stuff.
Maybe
What's
do
up,
a little
Beard?
bit of review on when they might be able to catch us. Because I know that we both, it seems like every week that goes by, we get busier and busier. In my instance, it has to do with physically. The more I'm able to stand, the more I'm recovered from my surgery. You like this Chad guy? Yeah, he's all right. Hey, Spurs. The more I can physically do, which means the more of the projects that I had going on that I can start doing again. So,
I feel you, dude.
in Chad, I know we got some commission stuff coming up, and I know Chad's got some other work that he's secretly working on in the middle of the night with his overlords that people aren't seeing. And so I thought maybe it would be prudent. Yeah, dude, check that out, y'all. Check that out. When's the last time anybody saw that, Chad?
That's been a minute.
That's dope, man. That's way more than it looked like when I saw it last.
Yo. There we go.
Yo. So
People are saying stuff and I'm missing it. Hi, Spurs.
I thought maybe, yes, Chad is a
Diva's
wood
here.
carver.
Burnt Diva's here.
Burnt Diva,
Go
y'all!
ahead,
Alert!
go ahead.
Everybody to your positions! Everybody to your positions! Quick!
Everybody-
Hurry! Everybody, go!
natural. Hi, Spurs. Go. Run, go.
Burnt
Sorry,
Diva.
Burnt Diva. I kind of put the, I kind of sent the bat signal out. I was like, I need Burnt Diva at the show right now. Somebody got filtered. Okay, guys, listen. Here's the thing. Burnt Diva sent, hello, Burnt Diva. Burnt Diva sent me a package. And I've been sitting on it because, well, we had like severe storms, and as some of you may know, my internet cheesied out for a few days. I caught myself. Do you like that? But I do have a brand new phone. I'm going to hook it up tonight. This is the last broadcast on this old one.
Oh, can we get a glitch? There it is. There it is.
You're froze up, dude.
Right on time.
Right on time. Froze up right on time. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to show you guys what Burnt Diva sent me. And I want to make sure you guys are like sitting down. You shouldn't be driving if you're watching the show already, but if you are, pull over. Now, listen, Burnt Diva is a very underspoken artist, okay? And once in a great while, I have to come clean with you guys. Now, when I say this, this doesn't mean I didn't already appreciate and respect this person's work. But sometimes I sleep on an artist, okay? I did that with BLT. I knew he had great art. I checked it out a little. But then one day I really got to see it, and oh my God. Guys, I've been sleeping on Burnt Diva. I knew that she was a good artist. I knew that she was a good person. I'm going to shut up and show you. Are you ready? Are you guys ready?
Yo, dude, that is so cool. It's huge, too.
Yo, look at this.
It's amazing.
Burnt Diva, I've always appreciated your work, but I am sorry for sleeping on you. Oh my God. Boys and girls, children of all ages allowed by TikTok. This is the sign of magnificent artist right here, y'all. Look at this. I mean, for real. For real. Burnt Diva, thank you so much. When I get over drooling on the chainsaw chain and stuff, I'm going to tell you how much I am honored that you would even do my portrait. Okay? First, I got to get past the fact that you are a badass. I'm having to really edit myself right now, y'all. And then I'll
do
talk
your
about
thing,
how
man.
honored
It's
I
all
am.
good.
Man,
Ezra's up there watching.
look, Ezra, dude. Look.
I mean, surely
take
he
your
is.
little ones and zeros and peep this, my homie.
that
Oh
out,
my
Ezra.
God. Duh. If you guys aren't following Burnt Diva, she is in my chat right now. Go
over
hit
and
that
follow
follow
her.
button on her. Hit your notifications button on her. And if she's
You're in my
accepting
chat.
commissions, you better
You're
get in
new.
where you fit in while you can. Because when people start seeing this, you ain't going to be able to get in no more. I ain't bullshitting.
Amazing. It's really cool. It's really cool.
She absolutely is accepting commissions. Don't play, y'all. I'm not kidding. Like, if you don't get in on this commission with her right now, you ain't going to be able to soon. So if your mama got a birthday coming up, or well, you know, Mother's Day's coming up, all that kind of
Don't
stuff.
get her a Chad Rev art. Get something else.
You can get her a Chad Rev art. It's okay. They'll like that too. Anyway,
He said,
very
you can get her
fair
a Chad
priced,
Rev art.
guys. Very fair priced, very affordable, but will absolutely knock your socks off. This is another one of those pieces that you hear me say that I wish you could see it in person. Look at the chain and look at the bar on my blade, y'all. For real. Look at my chain guard. You guys see this? Look at this. This is crazy. Not to mention my face, okay? But my chainsaw. I love that chainsaw a lot. Oh my God.
What's up, Twisted Z? What's up, Crimson?
You guys
Hey,
go
Chris.
ask. Go at her. You should be blushing, Burnt Diva. You are extremely, 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 extremely talented. I'm going to go through here pretty soon and I'm going to make either a video for all the people who have hooked me up with awesome portraits or videos for each of them. I don't know. Y'all hit me up if you want something special because I owe you at least that. All right. So if you guys want some content made either by myself or the both of us, we got you. If you sent either of us a picture of of one of our ugly mugs and you want some content made for yourself, you hit us up. It's yours.
Absolutely.
Now, I've taken over the Gin Project show for a long time, but I had to show that.
His
Sorry,
overlords made me do that. His overlords made me do it. He doesn't have overlords.
He did not.
He's
He did
not
not
from another
get
planet.
abducted.
I did not get
He
abducted.
did not get abducted. He didn't. Not at all.
So check it
Not
out, y'all.
by interdimensional creatures.
Tonight we got Dusty
Welcome back,
Graphics
Gin.
on. Thanks, man. Tonight we
Man, I
got
all
Dusty
sorts of people
Graphics
saying
on,
stuff.
and he's go ahead, spit it out. What you got?
No, I'm just checking through here real quick. Everybody's giving Burnt Diva props, and that is absolutely what she needs because she is extremely
Right
talented.
on. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yo, we got John Doty in the chat. Friend of mine from over at Etheria. One of the
Doty.
most positive dudes you're ever going to meet. He makes music. He makes content. He's an awesome guy. Please give him your support. He supports everybody
Hello,
out
John.
there. He's always roaming around supporting people. So that applies to pretty much everybody that I've seen in the chat. Just an amazing group of people. Thanks everybody for being here. Tonight, we're going to brag on some other folks. So we thought, hey, Ebony, what's going on? Glad to see everybody. So we thought what we would do was give a little rundown of some stuff over the last month or so or two. Yes, of course, John, that we got from various folks. Chad just opened the proceedings with an amazing piece by Burnt Diva. It's going to be hard to top that. We might should have. Of course, John. We might should have left that for the end, man. I don't know. So I see my boy Eric, the airbrush artist, has just arrived in the building. So we'll start off with that. If you go over to Eric, the airbrush artist's spot, you can find a t-shirt. Now, I wore this t-shirt to drive to Virginia, so it was comfortable for at least 8 hours, y'all. So go over to Eric the Airbrush Artist spot. This is one option. One way to support folks on this platform is to go over and check his work out. Now, you can also find a piece of Eric's work right here behind me. That is the work of Eric the Airbrush Artist. He very generously did a portrait of my mug, and I still don't know why, but but it's still awesome. And look, there's the one he did of Chad Rev Art, y'all. So please make sure you show some love to Eric. Make sure you go and turn your notifications on for these artists that we're talking about, because many of them don't necessarily have a set schedule. Love you too, brother. So, really nice shirt, really cool stuff. Comes right from him, his family. So, make sure you go out there and support. That dude supports everybody. He goes in everybody's chat. He tries to get along with everyone. He don't give anybody grief. So, show some love for our dude, Eric. He's also the one that introduced Chad to his mistress, Jennifer Hudson, and their secret rendezvous. Eric usually coordinates that.
I love her.
Eric is usually in charge of coordinating their secret rendezvous. So, thank you, Eric. We love you, brother.
We do rendezvous. We do all the time.
So a good friend of Eric's is this other dude, and if you saw the content I put up about the show with Dusty today, you will see that I was wearing this shirt, which is from our good friend Rick the Muse. Don't fear the beard, paint it. So go do just that. What's he up to now, Chad? 8,800, 9,000 something? And there's Chad's artwork of Rick the Muse. So, if I'm not mistaken, Rick has his show on Fridays now, unless that's changed since I've been gone.
Burnt Diva said she was part of designing that shirt. Awesome job.
Say that again?
Burnt Diva said she was part of designing that shirt. Nice job.
There she is again. There's that Burnt Diva again.
What's up, Captain?
Always doing cool shit. So, don't fear the beard. Paint it. Rick the Muse, that dude does nothing but be supportive of other people. So, please show him some love. You can go over to, it's called Coalition Gallery. She's doing some really amazing stuff. She supports other artists. Our good friend Ambassador Hanson was one of the featured artists on there. Rick the Muse is featured artist on there. Go check them out. They have some stuff going on for the new thing. So that's Rick the Muse, Eric the Airbrush Artist.
OG, get that lean with me.
You ready for another one, Chad? You got one. You got something. Okay. This is our good friend Dead Making Art. Hey, y'all. There's Tender Chocolate in the chat. If you're not following her, make sure you do. She was the guest on the show last week, and she is a badass. We love some Tender. Go check out her art. This is Dead Making Art. She does some really amazing content, and she's up a lot at night. So go check out Dead Making Art or The Artist is Dead. Those are the same handles. And I have another shirt that my wife has another shirt that has a character called Green Gary on it. This is Ivan. But all you got to do is go to her profile. You can find this cool stuff. I got the heavy duty versions because I want to wear them working in my shop on the flow states. So I've tried to get the heavy duty versions, and these will be my work shirts when I do flow states. All right.
Yes, spooky musical chick. That is Dead Making Art.
Angel Tony. What's up, Angel? How's it going? Angel Tony is representing. She was on the show with Davino a couple weeks ago. That was an amazing show. And Tender Chocolate, if you remember, Chad, when Tender came on last week, we were having all those glitches and all those problems, and we were trying to figure out, like, man, are we even going to be able to do this? And then she showed up. Everything worked smoothly. She did amazingly. And bam, somehow it worked out. Angel, we're doing great. We're really glad to see you. Thank you for stopping through. We appreciate you coming up. We are ragging on our friends today.
I was in your chat the whole time, Chocolate. As soon as I realized I couldn't be up, I had to get in there.
Sure was. Sure was.
Okay. Sammy B. Okay, Rick the Muse t-shirt design was created by her, Sammy B, Kate, and Burnt Diva. That is awesome. Very, very awesome. Cancel.
What's up, Keefe?
Oh, my dogs
How
are
you
going
doing,
crazy
man?
today.
Good to see you, Keefe. Today we're just kind of loving on other artists. Well, that's pretty much what we do every Tuesday, I think. Good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping through. Y'all, if you're not familiar with Keefe the artist, Keefe is a good dude. He gives out great advice. He has a Wednesday evening show, and he talks a lot about the business of art. I've learned a lot from him indirectly, just from things I've heard he said from other people, or that people have said to me that they heard in his live. So make sure you show Keefe some love, give him some support. He has some amazing artists over there that he spends some time with. So make sure you check them out. There's Sammy B in the chat right there. Amy Lee, another amazing artist. Good to see you, Amy Lee.
What is
So
up?
it looks like SA Artistry's in the house. So why don't we move on to
Oh
some SA
yeah.
Artistry stuff?
Hi, SA.
If I'm
I
not
just didn't say hi
mistaken,
because you were talking. So
right on, right on. This Friday is SA Artistry's You Pick It, She Paints It. Last week, somebody picked that they wanted to see her paint Eric the Airbrush Artist being painted by Rick the Muse. And she made that happen, and it was super dope. And I think that was just a great idea.
she also did the one of painting with Tiffany and Haley Beth at the carnival, which was most excellent.
I never got to see the next phase of that.
Yes,
I
it did,
was
Element Rose.
on the road.
Yeah, it's good.
So
If you're going to show off some of her stuff, what's up, Santiago?
I'm about to.
Okay.
I'm about to. So if you go to SA Artistry's bio, you can find a link that'll take you to shirts like this. Now, like I said, I got the heavy duty version, and I love it. And the label's not too much; it's still comfortable to wear. So, but more importantly, her art. She is no kidding, y'all. She's my favorite artist for real. My friend is also my favorite artist. That's pretty damn dope. Thank you, TikTok. I appreciate that. Hey, look. There's a piece of art. Show it. Go ahead, because I'm going to break one of those out, too. Here's some more of the
Newbie,
Friday
what's up,
night.
my dude?
Santiago, you're up, too. We're going to get
Yes,
on you
Santiago,
tonight, too,
you're about to be up
Santiago.
too, my bro, Ham. Look at that.
So,
It's the mechanical
there's Chad Rev
gin.
Art. Look at that, y'all. SA Artistry.
Did you know the mechanical gin makes a sound just like a donkey? What's up, Enigma?
Enigma? I'm glad your internet's working, Enigma. So this is stuff that you can find on SA Artistries. Friday night, you pick it, she paints it. The last several, we've tried to buy up as many as we could and tried to kind of have a plan. This week I was out of town, so we don't have a plan. I'm going to have to come up with something.
You don't have a plan. I might have a plan. I'm getting better.
Good,
Enigma.
then that's my plan.
Thank you for all you guys for checking on me all the time since I was sick, man. I really appreciate you guys. Like, I literally got so many people reaching out. Thank you.
You ready?
Oh,
my boy Santiago.
Santiago. You ready?
You ready? You ready
okay,
for
wait a
some
minute.
Santiago?
Santiago Art, put your hand up. Put your hand up.
Oh,
You ready?
Enigma. The last few weeks, we kind of had a plan on what we were going to try to get her to paint. And I just got lucky, and it kept landing on me, or Chad gave me his picks, or Rick gave me his picks, and we got to make it happen. So that's what I was referring to. You ready?
Santiago, I hope you get
peek.
better.
You ready?
Dude.
Sneak peek.
Ready?
Uh-oh.
What? Ready?
He's not good?
Ready? He said he's not doing well. I hope it's just like a cold or like the sniffless or something.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Santiago Art right here in my chat. You ready? 1, 2, Santiago! Look at that, yo. Don't play. Do not play, y'all. Look at it. Just look at it. Would you look at it? Oh, just look at it.
He also does commissions, so you could go to Santiago's spot. He's a hell of a nice guy. He's super fair. He's an amazing artist. He's really supportive of other artists. He's one of those people I wish I could go hang out in his live. This whole getting busy thing isn't as fun.
I know. But you know what? It's good that we're busy and that we got and art and multiple pieces, and look at that.
Santiago 40, y'all. Amazing work.
Now, I just want to mention that several months ago, probably 6 months ago. Oh, your sugar not looking. Man, you better stay on top of that, homie. Months and months ago, one of you guys, I don't even remember which one it was now, said, well, Rev, why don't you do pyrography? Why don't you burn some wood? And I said, have you looked at you guys' work? I ain't trying to, no. This is why. This, Burnt Diva, y'all. Y'all too much. I ain't even trying to play with that. Nah, y'all go hit up Santiago. Get your stuff done.
Hey, Chad.
Stay on top of that sugar, Santiago. That ain't nothing to play with.
Yes, Santiago. We're going to talk about diabetes today, actually. With Dusty
Yep,
Graphic.
there's going to be some talk about the diabetes here in just a little
you
bit.
got-
No Wilford Brimley, though. He is not with us anymore. If we did that, I'd have to do some voodoo stuff, and that kind of creeps him out.
Hey, do you have your Natasha piece available?
Do I? Do I?
Thought you might, homie. All right, y'all. That was Santiago, and we got lots of them, and I got 13 minutes before I got to bring Dusty on, who is our guest tonight, Dusty Graphics, y'all. And we're doing this because this is going to be one entire positive vibe. Hey, Esme, we got something for you, too. Got something for Esme, too. But here we go, Natasha. You ready with the Natasha?
This is my OG, y'all. If y'all don't know Tasha, what's up, Wendy? If y'all don't know, and again, we'll be getting my Willie Nelson. Willie? I like some Willie.
Sammy
If y'all
B.
don't know Natasha, that is, I call her my OG because
Thank you,
she
Tenda.
has been rolling with me since before I had live access, y'all. That ain't no joke. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Here we go. This is some Natasha artwork. Whoa, pow! Look at that. Look at that. Mixed mediums, y'all. Can you see the 3D-ness? Can you see that?
This was because my fly broke and my fly was down one day. And this was...
Yes, just Cal.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch... Oh, there it went.
Her sense of humor.
I just like
That
doing
looked
that.
about right for you, Chad.
I know, right? Check it out. Okay,
No
so
worries,
the gray...
S.A. S.A.'s been
I know she
driving.
was
Oh,
like that.
man. We should have talked a bunch of smack. She can't defend herself. She's driving right now.
We're still on and she's still driving, so we're not done.
This is Natasha, y'all. So
Yeah, me
please
too.
follow Natasha. She's got an amazing eye. She's a cool artist. She's a really nice person. So hit her up. She also can do some pretty cool stuff. Oh, shirt, right? Enigma. Shirt.
She used ash. She used ash to do this gray tones in this, guys. That's what these gray tones are, ash. Yo, look at that. Oh, Natasha, thank you. I hope you got that TikTok lean with me a minute ago. If not, we'll take
you, Natasha. You're super dope.
Big love, girl.
I gotta throw in Crimson Rose. Here's a piece of Crimson Rose art. Hi, Jewel Poetry.
Man,
good to see you, Jewel. Y'all please follow Jewel. She's dope and she's very kind and gracious.
I took some of my stuff indoors.
Crimson Rose does something called Postcards for Positivity. You will find that very hashtag in this live. Please support Crimson Rose. She uses her art to support good causes like positivity. So,
what up, Can Do?
Crimson Rose.
Hey, listen, you're going to have to be like super duper entertaining for a second because I'm going to mute you and I'm going to walk off because I got to go pick something up that I didn't have.
No worries.
All right, you go on about Awesome Artist. Guys, keep an eye on him. We just got him back. If my family if creatures show up to take him, which they didn't before.
Leaving? You're leaving?
I'll be right back. I got to get beamed up and I'll get beamed right back. Right. I'm not leaving. I'm just leaving the frame for a couple of moments. It'll be okay. Hold on real tight. You got it? Okay, I'm going to mute myself. I'll be back.
Y'all, this piece back here is from Eve's Artistry. The one you see up there. And the one you see up there. And the prints you see over there and the rose are all from Project Zero Art. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. So, hey, Wendy, what's going on? Good to see you. Midwest girl, good to see you. Jewel Poetry, thanks for dropping in. Sammy B, you be very careful. driving, traveling. Eric, yep, pretty much. Crimson. So, there is another person in here. Esme's Creations. There's the tag. And Esme made this lovely hat. I know that SA Artistries has a hat and a, what's it called? A scarf. And I know that Chad has a hat. And I have seen several other people with some Esme Creations. So, dark gray hat with the pom-pom. Keep your dome warm when it gets cold outside. Right on, Eric. Right on. Right on. Eric knows what's up. So, there's another artist on this platform that you could go out and say, oh, look at this guy. There's another hat made by Esme. So you can go to her profile and you can hit her up and she'll send you something cool like that.
True story. That's what I had to go run for. It's like 90 degrees here. And I don't keep it out here because it's a nice beanie and there's like a bunch of sawdust. So I had to go get it. I didn't think about it because it's really
12
hot
minutes. We're going to make it. We're going to make it.
Get out of here.
Dusty Graphics is going to be our guest. He's going to come in and do a co-hosted live with us. Right on. He is in the chat as we speak right now.
Awesome.
Stockings. I love your handle. That's so funny. All right. So we were talking about SA Artistries, and there is yet another one. So since we were going to talk smack about her, this is another one of the shirts that I got from SA Artistry site. And if you don't think this is dope, then I'm not sure why you're following us. But so this is another piece by SA Artistries. And it also, I got it in like the heavy duty version. I'll wear it as a shop shirt, you know, when we're doing our flow states. So she has all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of her art is available, and you can check it out. And you might find some other things that, I mean, I couldn't get them all, right? I got to save up each month and get a couple. So
that
super
one's
dope.
badass.
Yeah. So now we're down to, I really hate to do this. You know, I really don't like to rep certain people, but I'm going to do it anyway, despite my better judgment. He is my friend. But you could get one of these, y'all, if you go to Chad Rev Art's page. Again, I got the heavy duty version, and this is the spring edition. Yeah. This is his, what did you say? Right on, Jewel. So, ChadRevArt.com. Now, here's the deal. If you go to Chad Rev Art's spot, you can find yourself all kinds of Chad Rev Art shirts. Now, he's got some of his digital art, who we have a digital artist on tonight in Dusty Graphics. You can get some of his digital art, which you can't get anywhere else. You can also get some of his paintings. You have some of those options available. And you can also get Gen Project shirts that look like these. Now, you can pick the color, but the Gen Project shirt that has the logo on the pocket and the logo on the back, you get at Chad's spot, should you choose to rock one of those. If you wanted to get some new information, if you wanted to get the shirt like I wear to work in, which doesn't have the logo on the back and it's the heavy duty version, then you can go to my spot. You can go to the same TeePublic's website, look up the Gen Project, and you can get white with black, or you can get any number of colors. I've got a black one with a white logo coming. I've got a navy one with a white logo coming, and you can get the light colors with the dark logo. And soon, I don't know how soon, but you will be able to
Soon
get
and very
some
soon.
exclusive Gin Project Chad Rev Art shirts that have us both on them. And you will only be able to find those at the Chad Rev Art site. Now, here's the deal. It doesn't matter to us if you buy them from Chad's site or if you buy them from my site, because we split it anyway. So it doesn't matter. We just appreciate you supporting us. So if you do it at his spot or you do it at my spot, I don't think it matters. Does it matter to you, Chad? It doesn't matter to me.
No, I mean, every time you guys buy a shirt, we take a quarter and some metal snips, we crack it in half, and we split it.
Yep. I've got a thimble full of those over there. A thimble full.
Oh.
Brr. So one way that you can support artists is to go check out their bio, check out their merch. A lot of these artists that I've mentioned tonight sell prints. Same thing for Chad. I am a woodworker. I don't have any of those yet. Chad's going to figure out how to get a couple of my pieces. We're working on getting those available in a print. A couple of the cooler pieces, I think, or what I think are cool. And like I said, he's also working on some shirts that have kind of both of us in them. So check it out. Now, people, we don't have their stuff yet. Cat Art just put out a bunch of cool art. She's on my list. I'll be buying a shirt from her in my next month's allowance.
She put tons of stuff out that is really, really cool, guys.
And she's got hats. She's got hats. I might have to get a hat.
Yes,
so
Cat Art.
I will be purchasing a Cat Art item once I save up my pennies and go dig another jar up out of the backyard. John Larson also has items for sale. He also has a fishing line of stuff for sale, and he also does commissions. So John Larson is another cat on this platform that you could go support. John Larson is also one of the dudes I sent a guitar to, so we'll see what happens with that. At some point, he'll burn on it, and when the inspiration strikes him. So John Larson's another artist on this platform that you can support. He's always supportive of other artists, and we appreciate you, John. So that leaves us 6 minutes before we are supposed to merge with Dusty Graphics. And when I was hurriedly trying to type in, of course, John, I was trying to type in, and I did the graphics spelling wrong in this here chat, but that's all right. I'm sure he'll forgive us. So, Dusty, one of the, I also wanted to mention, we did talk about Tenda. We did talk about Element Rose. I also wanted to mention someone on this platform who I really like a lot, had a huge loss this week. And I'm assuming, since I heard it, that everybody probably heard it before I did because I was out of town. But our dear friend Fay Ray Art lost her husband, to my understanding. And so I would hope that everyone, being a loving community that we are, would lift her up. Make sure that we go out of our way to show her some love. I haven't spoken to her. We don't know each other personally. I just know that that's a horrible, horrible thing to have to live through, I would imagine. And yeah, John, right on. Well, I was gonna reach out to Fay Ray, man. She's actually supposed to be the guest this coming week, and I'm gonna reach out and see where we're at on that. She obviously may not feel like doing that. So, at any rate, I'll be reaching out to Fay Ray. I hope that you all will too, and just make sure to show some love. So that gets me down to 4 minutes. That wasn't bad, man. I think we got everybody in. I think we got almost everybody in.
I think so.
So, what I want to tell you about this guy that we're going to be bringing on in Dusty Graphics is that he uses his art to help. I mean, literally, he donates it. He takes the revenue that he makes from it, and he supports these various charities. The last one that he supported had to do with animal cruelty and preventing it. And anybody that knows Chad or I knows that we are animal folks. Lots of pets. We are in the animal world for various reasons. So absolutely appreciate his work on that. The love of my life just walked in, so y'all have to forgive me. I'm gonna wave and say hi, baby. I love you. I'm glad you're
Hi,
home.
Miss Ginn. We love you.
Everybody says hi, Miss Gann. So we have this man coming on that literally his vision is to utilize his art and his life to help various entities. And he lives it, he walks it, he talks it. Miss Devlin, I see you, Miss Devlin. And I'm sorry if I haven't shouted out everybody in the chat. I know there's some amazing folks in the chat, y'all. But I'm really excited to talk to Dusty because for those that haven't figured it out yet, Chad and I really try to push artists who help other artists, who actively give their own time, energy, resources, whatever, in some kind of way to lift up the entire art community. And in Flash Gordon's case, and in Dusty's case, and guys like that, they're even doing bigger things. They both have created entities that are charities that they're able to make a physical impact in the world with. And I just think that's amazing. And so that's why I'm really excited to have Dusty on. He runs marathons and has raised money. He's done some pretty funny stuff just for fun to get people to donate for various charities. And the dude is a humble guy and a really kind and generous fellow. And I'm really excited. I'm hoping that we're able to get everything linked up and get him on here. And we're gonna. So if we could, Chad, if you're able. Oh, there he is, right there, man. And the dude is right on time. So y'all, we're gonna try to bring Dusty in. And
hey,
Dusty, can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you guys just fine. I'm coming in, man.
Welcome.
I'm coming in. It is awesome. How you guys
Welcome,
doing today?
welcome.
Good.
Man, we're so glad to have you here, Dusty.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing. Where's your ties? I don't see where the ties are at, guys. This is I come in fully loaded.
Well, I'm in a woodworking shop.
Right?
I did put on a tie one time though. We did.
Uh-oh.
My bad.
You know,
you joined the ranks of people like of great people like Ambassador Hanson, who also wore a tie when he came on.
Listen, I think I was probably voted best dressed man on TikTok probably about the last month or so. I don't know. We'll see how it happens.
Look,
if not,
I would vote for you.
Right? Well, it's kind of weird because people kind of associate me with all the vests and ties that at some point in time when I don't wear one, people don't recognize it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So
well,
nice.
You're looking sharp. You sound good. I want to tell you, man, I really appreciate you coming on, Dusty. I'm not sure how much of the little bit of the introduction you were able to hear, but we were talking smack about you.
Oh, come on.
And I was trying to express that you have this vision, this philosophy of you utilize your art and your life, like literally your life,
yes,
to help in these causes that you believe in. And I just think that's dope, man. And I think that this idea of being centered, right? This idea of living in the moment and being willing to, make that reach out and make that human contact. I got to tell you, man, I respect and admire you a lot because it may not seem like it, but I consider this peopling. I'm not always necessarily for public consumption, you might say.
Right.
So your patience. Yes, your patience and your grace are really inspiring, man. They really are.
Oh, stop it. The grace. Come on. I'm kind of awkward most times. So,
Yeah, but by grace, I mean the grace that you show to people, the grace that you allow people. That is
yeah,
a really beautiful thing, man. And I really, especially as a male living in the world that we live in, to be able to step forward and be like, hey, it's all right to be kind. It's all right to be
yeah,
complimentary. It's all
yes,
right to be generous. It's all right to, to say that you're not all right. All of
yeah,
those things, man. I really respect you because I think more of us have to step forward and talk in those terms. So you
yeah.
have my respect for doing so, man. I appreciate you.
And I usually everybody that comes into my live, I usually end my live it's kind of my sign off, but I always say humankind be both. And so I want to
Yes,
make
I
sure
love
that I can
that.
pass that on to everybody else. So,
yes.
to kind of reiterate a little bit about that living in the moment thing, this philosophy kind of showed up part of this second part of my life. So, um, what I wanted, what I found out, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but the what the philosophy was is that I kind of either when it comes to either either a spiritual or religious or anything else, it's more or less I kind of treat myself as my own temple. The voices that I end up like talking to, that's within me. However that works, whoever talks back, it could be me, whatever it is. But what it is that when I pass away, on my tombstones there's going to be two numbers. It's my name and two numbers, and I don't care about any of those. The thing that I want to really focus on is it's not the date of my birth and not the date of my death, but it is that little tiny mark right in between. That's where I want to put all my energies and my focus on, right? And so I need to live into the moment. I need to know that I don't want to let my past kind of kind of affect my today, and I don't want to let my future affect what my today is. I want today to kind of be living in the moment to make sure that when I do pass away, the ones that I love and the ones that love me are can see that dash and know that that tiny little mark is what I put everything into. That's the only thing that matters to me, right? And I now at this point in time know that if I put that energy into it as best as I can, I can then bring that positivity out to everybody else. And so I ended up making the dash tattoo. There's a tattoo of the dash that's on my tombstone, on my drawing wrist. So therefore, I can always take a look that the most important mark on that tombstone is that tiny little mark between those two numbers. Okay,
I love it.
so that's kind of where my philosophy comes in from.
I love it, man. I love it. And here's the thing,
Yeah.
we often see this, but you've come to a place in your life where you obviously went through a transition and you decided you're going to try something a little differently. I'm oversimplifying,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
but um and I feel you in that, right? And this trying to looking around at the world around us and trying to figure out how we as individuals can not only cope with it but affect change, you might say, for the positive, for the better.
Yes.
And that's where, like, the part of the grace that I was talking about earlier is, unfortunately, there's a bit of a cynic in me these days, right? Chad has to help me, and the people on this platform help me kind of stay in the positive and in the in the hopeful realm, right? Because it's
Yeah.
really easy to get outside of that hopeful lane, you might say. So I really think it's important that there's cats like you out there wandering around, making sure that there's some lines on the road for us to stay between, to stay in that
Yes.
hopeful. I'm just talking about a mindset, like a being, a state of being, right? It's like Chad has often talked about, with everything that he's been through in his life, with the kidney transplants and with the fights with cancer 3 times and all of that. Um, he always talks about this hopefulness, this spirit, this spirit of kindness and hopefulness that he doesn't talk about it. It exudes from him, right? And it
Yeah.
amazes me because someone who's been through as much as him isn't bitter, isn't pissed off. So
Yeah.
um,
Get
I
bitter
think
to get
it's
better.
I think it's important, man. I think that what you are doing is important on a lot of levels, man, to humanity.
Sure.
So I dig the philosophy. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
You
I love that you have that tattooed there as a reminder. That is
and I purposely put it on my
That's
right
excellent.
wrist because then as I do most of the like as I draw or do anything else, I get to take a look at this little dash. I get to remind myself that when I wake up in the morning, I'm given that gift of today. I'm going to make the most of it, right? I'm going to tackle each day the fact that
Mm-hmm.
this could be it. So whether I'm going to pass away tomorrow or 50 years from now, that doesn't matter. What matters is today, and so I'm going to do what I can today to make sure that I can pass it on to somebody else. I want to, maybe that's the legacy. So, whether there's an
Right on.
afterlife, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me because like I got a
Right.
short time here on this plane of
I
This.
feel you,
existence.
man. Yeah,
So I'm
this
gonna
is
do what
it.
I
Yeah.
I feel
can
you.
while I'm here, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me
I have
let me
tattoos on
let
my
me say
wrist
this.
marking when I beat cancer and also had my
That's
kidney
amazing.
situation. So I understand that being able to look and go, this is where I've been and what I've accomplished. So
Yes.
having that, I get
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's
absolutely
awesome.
cool.
So I think I mean, and the thing is, it kind of evolved from there. So I had started off as like more of a medium. Like I did a lot of sketching, a lot of color pencil art when I was younger, and I kind of learned a lot from my brother and my mother. And by the time that I was up in high school. I was ready to kind of go into the military. I was going to be a nuclear engineer. My ASVAB test, I was passing to be a nuclear engineer. And in the end, I had an art college that actually was more really interested in what I wanted to do. And I thought, well, I could do this, or because my brother, who was a really great artist, by the time he was done, he kind of like lost interest in some of the art. And I thought, well, maybe instead of that, I could probably just go to an art college and enhance the gift that I've been given. And that's where I started into the digital aspect of my art. Um, now, so that being said, let's fast forward to what I've been doing learning about my dash. I wanted to do a little bit more with my life. So I jumped into doing things like signing up for triathlon, signing up for marathons, going up to take classes for skydiving classes, and then basically trying to do more with the second half of my life than the first part, right? So um, that being said, when I started to join the marathons, I ended up having to like sponsor some of these charity events. And what I was able to do is actually utilize my art for commissions. And the commissions and the proceeds ended up going to those charities, which I ended up raising quite a bit of money. So that first charity I did was the anti-cruelty charity for pets or for animals. And that was a very successful aspect. And I actually really enjoyed it. And uh, what I did, it's a bit more of like my therapy. It's a bit more of like my decompression at the end of the day. And I found out that I was so attracted to the aspect of other people's memory, of other people's images. So if anybody goes to my page, 95% of the stuff that are on my page are from other people's heads. They're not my own art. They're from other people. So I probably at one point in time I was probably like maybe a sketch artist in my past life. I don't know, but um, I love taking the memories and the images from somebody else, bringing them down into reality, bringing them down into a screen, and seeing their images come to life. And it's some people have they want to watch a movie and some people want to read a book, and for me it's my addiction came from learning what everybody else wanted to get from in their head, and what I found out from people's heads was fascinating. And so I got addicted. So I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm hitting a couple of aspects here. So I'm gaining the donations for charities, but I'm also gaining that high of getting into someone's head and pulling those images out. There have been times where like I have clients that are from like in Germany and Europe that they've had images in their heads for almost 30 years, and they know how to describe it in words, but they can't imagine what it looks like. And as soon as I start
Wow.
bringing up sketches, and as soon as I start bringing up uh, concepts, they start to kind of see what we're
Yeah.
doing. And so uh, I was I got kind of into a role with things, but then eventually we got into where AI art started to show up. And AI art was kind of like, it was kind of the new thing. Everybody was jumping into the AI art thing. And I, for a moment, thought, well, that's it. The digital art is not going to be a thing anymore. But what I found out is that people still found that like AI could be somewhat unpredictable. Whereas for me, what I wanted to do was actually give someone the adventure, the experience of getting their images pulled out onto the screen. So every step of
Sure.
the way, I'm always saying, you know, tell me what you want in the description. Give me all the references you want or the little references that you want. And then I'm going to give you a bunch of sketches. I'm going to give you a bunch of concepts. And we're going to mold this together bit by bit by bit. And then I'm going to work with the line art. And then I'm going to work with the base colors. And I'm going to, every step of the way, I'm not going to move forward until they actually get to see it. And it used to be just kind of a back and forth, like either email or something else, and then, or Instagram. But I got into Discord and I was streaming my stuff so people could actually see what I was doing with their art, like live, real time. And then
Real
I had
time.
a friend Jason who, yes, I had a friend Jason who told me to get into this, and so hold on just a moment. So what I ended up doing was would stream from there, and would be able to um, kind of have people go with real time in uh, hold on just a moment. um, just a moment.
Sure.
Hello, Can Do. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate y'all. Once the guest starts talking, I try not to interrupt them and shout out too much. Dusty's got his little one with him, so he may have to excuse himself here every once in a while. So while he's doing that, though, I want to tell everybody thank you so much for joining. If I haven't shouted you out, it isn't because I'm not grateful that you're not here. We just really try hard not to interrupt the guests on the show. Mike and Theory Radio are both in the chat. If you're not familiar with Mike, that's my buddy Mike Carter, who does Tuesday nights, does these dope ass shows where he does really heavy content,
It.
and yeah, and Theory Radio, who carries the Gin Project, who
All
you'll
right,
be able to find
all right, I'm back.
on there. There he is. Hey, no
Here we
worries,
go.
man. We
All
got
right,
you.
I'm back.
We got a plan
I'm
for
back.
that.
Yep, I'm back. Perfect. So anyway, so I was able to kind of build the live a little bit from doing this, and it kind of started to evolve. Um, where now what I do with my live is I work on people's commissions while people can come in and just sit there and visit and enjoy. And then I find other artists that would like to come in, and even there are people that would come in and not would probably discover themselves as artists. And so either they would color or put Legos together or doodle or whatever. And then what I would do is would start this thing called a 10-minute challenge. And the 10-minute challenge is kind of a hit on the live, where I would pick someone new, or either a subscriber or someone else that would show up and become a new follower. And I'd pull them in and say, okay, I got 10 minutes. Let's go ahead. Let's try to get some drawings done. And I would we would count down and have it turn into 10 minutes, and I would panic the whole time, but in the very end it turns out to be something really crazy. So I do like one or two of those on every live. So that was a lot of fun. And then a lot of times you get people that if I reach this very specific goal, that goes to, like, all the gifts and everything go to the charities. Once I reach a certain goal, then I have to get up and I have to do some sort of silly dance or something. So those are always fun. But in the end, it turns into a nice little getaway for people. It's a nice little relaxing moment at the end of the night. I usually get on pretty late at night, and I go on for about an hour or two, and just kind of enjoy ourselves. Yes, yes. So I usually, this is pretty early, but I get on, pretty much a little bit later. But so right now, what I'm doing is the charity that I'm sponsoring is the JDRF. charity for type 1 diabetes. And this is a sponsor that is sponsoring the new marathon that I'll be running in May. And I beat the goal out of the water. Everybody did a great job donating to the charity, and I was saying that if I can make that very specific goal, I'm going to dress up as Waldo and I'm going to run through the streets for about 10 miles 1 week before the marathon. And I blew it out of the water, and so we did a great job. And I couldn't have done it without everybody else coming in to kind of help out. It was amazing. And so on
Yeah,
May 12th, I'm
dude.
going to dress up as Waldo, and I'm going to run through the streets being silly. And
May
I
12th,
am,
y'all.
yes, and I'm a you
May
know
12th.
I'm a yes, that's the what I would
It's
call
Sunday.
yes, it's a Sunday, and it's what I would call it's the 1 week before the marathon, and that's when I would run through the streets, and that'd be a lot of fun. And then the week later is the actual marathon, so it turns out to be a lot of fun. And so the reason why I picked the type 1 diabetes charity from JDRF is because it did resonate with a lot of other people, and the fact is the person who got me started doing this also kind of suffered through some of this too. So it kind of resonates with me as well. So yes.
Right on. Man, that's
Will you be dressed as
incredible, man.
Waldo for the race?
No, I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dress up as the team as Team JDRF that sponsors the well is one of the charities. So I will probably be wearing one of those. Probably, I'm sure that there are a lot of people that want me to dress up as like. And I had like my brother wanted to join, and he's like, hey, if I join, we can dress up as like Mario and Luigi. And I'm like, sure, why not? Like, I'm not really afraid or have any shame. Like I'm a public speaker. I can speak in front of on a stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, and so I really don't have any shame.
I'll tell you.
So it is what it is.
Chad and I are also used to embarrassing ourselves for a good cause. So
I embarrass
Yes.
myself. I embarrass myself like almost every time, and it turns out to be a lot of fun. And then I end up just doing voices
Yep.
for everybody that comes into my live. Whoever comes in, I'll just make up a voice and just have fun with it. So yeah.
I love what you kind of skimmed over. So I'm going to revisit it just a little bit.
Sure,
But
yeah, go ahead.
You do this thing where you get people to draw with you. I just want to make
Yes.
sure everybody understood that.
Yes.
They'll come on your show with you sometime. Every once in a while you do this. They'll come on the show with you,
Yes.
and you just ask them to draw with you. And this might be someone
Yeah.
like me that doesn't draw.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
just hang out and you draw. Whatever they draw is fine. But the only requirement that you have for joining you on the show is that they got to be willing to draw with you.
Yeah, I
And I
mean
think
that's
that's
somewhat
wonderful.
new. Yes, and I mean before I probably had a lot of people that would come in and they would just kind of hang out, like they would kind of decompress after the day and just hang out. And we'll just talk about whatever, and I would ask questions of like, what would you rather do, or just talk about their day and just kind of chill out. But basically, it's kind of get that feeling of like we're sitting around a campfire, right? But
Right.
I think what I wanted to do then is, there was a lot of people from different communities outside of the art community that wanted to hang out, right? And I got myself involved in some of those, and I thought, well, you know what, if you want, like, I used to be an art teacher for an after school program called Young Rembrandts, and I would teach kids how to draw, and that turned out to be a lot of fun. And there were a lot of kids that didn't know how, it had no idea how good they were until they were actually had pen to paper, and they loved to draw. And so I wanted to kind of bring that same aspect again. So usually at the end of the night, the three things that I loved is listening to music, doing the art, and talking to people. And if I could hit all those three, that's going to be great. And so also now what's happening is now it's kind of
Yep.
evolved where like the people that are coming in that are doing art with me, I say, all right, now it's a 10-minute challenge. Everybody that's in there drawing with me are going to do the 10-minute challenge with me. And so we all work on 10 minutes, and we work on the same thing. So it could be something like, I want the Loch Ness Monster ridden with a Scotsman going down the sunset or something. And so like something crazy, which turns into a lot of fun. And so there was a lot of people that discovered it. Turned out to be a lot of fun. I think the other thing that I do is I somewhat peruse the the channels, and I try to find maybe an artist that is new. Maybe they just got enough to have camera access or something else. Or sometimes people come in and I tell them like, come on in here. Well, we're kind of let's kind of introduce yourself to everybody. And so I've done that a few times. I've discovered a couple of artists that had no idea that there was an art community out there, and had kind of introduced them. And I was probably one of those people at one point in time too. Like, so it turned out to be a great way to kind of introduce people into an art community. That there's a lot of artists out there that don't even know that people like us exist. That we're all
Yeah.
out here to support each other.
Right.
And it's truly a community. I mean, you can look in the chat and see the variety of people that are all amazing at what they do, from all different types of disciplines. It's really incredible, and I agree. This community is amazing, and it's worth the
Yeah.
extra effort. It really is.
Well, in its fact, is a lot of people their the profile pictures are being kind of drawn recently, and I'll flip the camera over if you want to see. Let's see, I'll flip the camera over, and I'll kind of show a little bit of some of my stuff. So this one was one of the recent ones that I
Nice.
finished.
Wow.
Osteo, who
Yes.
she made some great
That's
huge
dope.
donations to the charity, and all I got was I just need a skull that's half of a heart and half of a skull, and then being held up by some tentacles. That was the only description I got. So I just drew a whole
That's
bunch of
dope.
concepts, and then every now and then we'd get a little bit further, and then I would show like I would move until I get a little bit closer to the details. So this is one of those that I did, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. And everybody that joins Alive got to see me kind of put this together,
And
and
it,
then every now and then, like I would get, I do like other pieces of like cute little things that I would do. But I kind of wanted to do, and the other thing that I work on is logos for companies. So
Project Zero.
this is a like a logo
Nice.
that I would work on a company that I would do, and this would be all in vector graphic. So I'd work with the logos for companies or T-shirt designs, but I'll kind of work. I'll kind of walk with you through how I do some of the things. So this would be like a
Yeah.
sketch that someone say that they wanted a certain sketch of something. So I'd come up with different concepts, and once they came up with the concept, I'd come up with a nice little sketch, and I'd show that to them. And once they love it, then I would get to the next step, which would be like more like cleaned up line art. So I'd work on the line art, making sure that everything was done correctly, and then once they approve that, I wouldn't go until they approve it. I'd go to the next step, which would be like more like base colors. Make sure all the colors are nice and correct. Make sure that all the hues are nice and exactly what they want. And then I finally go with the rendering. I work with shades and highlights and more effects and stuff like that. And I would not move on until they were completely satisfied. And so that's kind of how
That's
I do it
cool.
right now. So yeah. Um,
Let me,
but
let me
I can
reiterate.
show you. What was that again?
Let me reiterate that one of the things that Dusty really likes to do, I can relate to because this is one of the things I like to do commissions on. That he like what he's describing is someone like when he mentioned Germany earlier. Someone has a vision in their head that they're not able to get out.
Love that
They're
one.
not able to draw. They're not able to render. So they contact Dusty and they have a full conversation, and that's how he is able to
Yes.
come up with these images. And the important part is he doesn't go to the next step until they're happy. So he's actually helping them realize their vision, which is
Yes.
next
Exactly.
level dope.
Yeah. So I can go on through a lot of images of like basically one of my clients is he's got over 300 characters that he wants illustrated, but he can't get it out of his head. So I'll go through and I'll make sure that every single piece is kind of working with them, and they ended up getting addicted to it. So they ended up loving all of all of the stuff that I've been coming up with their characters, and they've had these images, not images, but just kind of concept, but they can't get it out onto paper or onto the screen. So I'd work with them a little bit at a time, and eventually it turns into something that let's see. I'll try to pull up one of his characters. And I showed one of them, but let's try to go with well, let's see. Here we go. Um, this one was one that I had recently done with for him, and he had no idea. He wanted some sort of, it was like a British officer that had kind of like an Iron Man look to him. And so I just basically worked and did a whole bunch of concepts and ended up turning into something like this. And I had to use references from,
Wow.
old models and stuff like this. So he had no idea until this came out, and he says, "This is kind of exactly what I was looking for in the first place. I just never was able to reiterate with his words, and it was something very fun,
Right.
you know. So that's the joy that I do get out of it. But in the end, a lot of those proceeds go to a charity, you know.
That's amazing. That's I love the idea, and maybe it's relatable in term for me personally, because the whole concept of this show, for example, is to give artists long enough to actually show and talk about their thing. And it seems
Yeah.
like you're doing something similar in terms of you give the person enough time to digest each step, because they're not proficient in your skill set. So you deploy the skill set, they make use of it in some ways, and then each step of that process, it allows them some ownership in it, which is just so amazing, man. I
Yes.
love it.
And that's one of those things that like, I have to kind of take a basically like a step ahead of what you consider like AI art. So, and I won't go deep into it, but 20
Oh,
years
let's
ago,
do. Chad's ready.
yeah, yeah, you ready, Chad? You ready for this? So I'd say like
Let's go.
15 years ago, I was on some other art platforms, and what was amazing about these art platforms is those were really pure art communities, and you could see so many people pour their passion onto all sorts of different mediums and the things that they were interested in and what they could do. And I was loving the fact that I joined this community and I was able to kind of jump into this. I won't name the actual websites. They're pretty well known, but eventually what happened is like a couple years ago, things started to change, and you start to see a little bit more of the AI art, and people then ended up selling their skills as an
Mm-hmm.
AI artist and charged per prompt to
Uh-huh.
make money off of that, which take them 30 seconds to do. And even though sometimes the art would look really awesome, it's somewhat unpredictable. So I had to come make sure that I had to keep that passion and the
Yeah.
drive of like, um, I want us, you and me, as one. I'm going to be just the extension of your creative mind, and we're gonna mold this together. We're gonna make this an adventure. So by the time we are done with the piece of art, you are going to like it's going to be a big breath of fresh air saying I just went through this amazing adventure with this artist, and I got everything out of my head that I wanted, and I can't wait to show everybody else. And what was awesome
Right.
with that is that people got addicted to that adventure, and they like to come back for it. And so, as
Yeah.
long as like everybody else, like other artists that are in here, as long as they can kind of, I'm not trying to sell the art. I'm trying to sell the adventure. I'm trying to sell the experience that you can get out of, yeah,
Right.
of getting that creativeness out of their head onto the paper. So that's where I am trying to stay ahead of the game on that aspect. So,
Right on.
but yeah, and now it's nice because like there's different communities. Not only like there's an art community. We're all here to support each other. But like I can jump into the STEM community. I can jump into the astro community, the microscopy community. I can get into those communities and get involved, and and bring some of that creativity into those fields as well. You know. So I that's the part that I love and enjoy. As long as you get
Sure.
to spread that love.
So the the joy that you get out of your art has a lot to do with how connected it is to someone else. It sounds like.
Yes. Yes. And
Which
yes, there's a great connection on that. Yes.
is a little
Um,
bit different kind of art, right? That makes it, to me, in
yes.
my mind anyway, it makes it a little bit different.
Yes.
Going back to what some of Chad, we've had conversations about this, and I don't want to speak for Chad. I'm just going to try to interject a little bit. Um, I've seen some of his art, and it was amazing. It's digital art that he's done. He's been kind enough to
Yeah.
share it with me.
Hmm.
And he got frustrated and doesn't do it anymore because of this AI thing that you were talking
Yeah.
about. So I'd just like to give it a little opportunity
Yeah.
for y'all to whatever extent you would like to back and forth on that, because you two would know a hell of a lot about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Chad.
Well, I, I for about 5 years, all I did was digital painting. Old version of Photoshop, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then when I started sharing it with the rest of the world after many years, I got really frustrated because everybody kept asking what AI program I was using. And I was just like, I'm not, because to me, an AI art program sound an awful like when someone has a commission, like kind of like what you were saying, people want this and they want that and they want this and they want that. And to me, that sounds an awful lot like the prompts that people put in. And I saw people, literally somebody that lives an hour from me, using this stuff, making a print and selling it for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I just,
Yeah.
it made me sick to my stomach. But what it did do for me is it made me look at my wife and I was really, really frustrated because someone had asked me yet again. I said, I'm going to go buy some canvases and some paint. And she was kind of shook because I hadn't painted in years and years and years. So it was AI that irritated me, but it was also AI that made me start painting and sculpting again. So I get your
Yeah.
frustration with
Um,
trying to weed through all that.
yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of the frustration that came through, but then in the end, I kind of just said, you know what, I'm gonna do what I can, and
Yep.
I'm gonna wake up the next day, and I'm gonna make the most of it. Now, the most of it could be this much, the most of it could be this much, but I'm gonna do the most of it. I'm gonna wake up
Yep.
and tackle that day, and so if as long as I can actually just bring out that creativity in some people and give them that experience, I think
Mm-hmm.
I can at least stay ahead of the game. And a lot of times it is you can't really get connected with a deep learning. You can't get it connected with the AI, right? But you can get connected with a human. And so what you want to do is and there are a lot of artists that I'm not gonna blame them, but they could be introverted. They don't like to socialize, but they want to get they want to get their money, right? So they just get their description, they get it all done, and then they hand it off. And for me, I'm more like, let's connect. Let's get your pieces together. We're gonna go through this adventure, and I want to make sure that this piece is more or less like yours. And I've always told people, people are always afraid to say, I don't know if I like this enough. I'm gonna change it. I don't know, and I don't know. I'm afraid to tell you that I don't like it. And I'm like, listen, I'm a marketing director, right? And I'm a graphic designer. I have to grow that thick skin because you could come up with something super amazing, and then in the end, you could show it to your boss, and they'll be like, "I don't like any of it. It's You need to start over." And
And that
so,
happens.
yes,
Yeah.
it happens. So as an artist, you could put your heart and soul into something that you thought was really good, and you could show it to your client. And what I don't like to hear is someone saying, okay, I'll just, that's good enough. I'm like, no, tell me
Yeah.
no. I'd rather
Uh-huh.
start over and make something that you love, right? And by the time it's done, I'm satisfied because you're happy with what you got. And so and so I'm always telling people, I'm prefacing them by saying, please be picky. And I do that from the very
Right.
beginning when I'm doing those sketches because by the time I'm done and they're just like, it's good enough. Like I'm not. It feels like it's more like my drawing than their drawing,
Right.
Yeah.
because by the time I'm done, I want the piece to feel like it's actually theirs and not mine. right?
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can relate. You know, some of my favorite builds are stuff that somebody came to me with this idea for the table or
Oh yeah.
whatever, and
I probably
and
have the worst ideas. I probably have the worst ideas of whatever characters I could come up with. So this is why I kind of rely on everybody else to come up with something for me. You know?
right, come on now.
Yeah,
There's that grace
definitely.
again. See
Right?
that grace I
I
was talking
know.
about.
I mean, that's what I would probably like to say is the fact is like I'm looking for that next brain to dig in and find out what do you got in there that I want to pull out and get onto there because like I wouldn't have thought of like a skull with a half of a heart and with tentacles or I know I had you know I had there's a big creator here, Professor Nixie. He actually had an idea to get himself into a steampunk character, so I took his picture and I kind of redid it and made his personality out of it and it turned into something really big. What's nice about that too is that like, you know, he's made a big donation to the type 1 diabetes. And now his prints, the prints that I gave to him, has it on his merchandise, and the proceeds to those go to like a children's charity for cancer. And so that kindness extends outwards.
He was here, y'all. I saw him in the chat. So
Yeah,
please
Professor
make sure to
Nixie's yeah.
follow him. Make sure to give
Mm-hmm.
him a follow. It's another person out there doing really awesome stuff and that's bigger
Yes, for
than
sure.
themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And that's how it spreads, you know. So it's great. And in fact is that like now I have you know there has been some artists that are coming to me saying, listen, I'd like to help out with some of that cue that you got. Are there people that made donations? I'd like to do art for those people that made those donations as well. So I think that's actually kind of a good aspect of how you can spread that love. Is now you have other people that kind of see that spark, and they want to bring that to say that like you know they feel good about doing art for somebody else who's made a donation to a good cause. So it's not for themselves; it's for something else. And so it kind of now, you know, you're becoming that coffee bean. You're becoming that something that is changing the environment around you. You're not changing, but you're changing the environment around you by what you're doing.
Yes. Are you
Sure.
familiar with Flash Gordon on this TikTok platform? Leslie?
I've heard of it. I've not done a lot with Flash Gordon,
Flash
but I've
is
heard it.
he's him and Petra, who was in the chat earlier, have started a website and an entire charity for autism, which is amazing. It's
Oh,
very
that's great.
similar, like what you're talking about. You know, just
Yeah.
he's a you know a union painter, you know a
Hmm.
working guy, you know, and
Yeah,
he's also an artist, and he does all this stuff in his spare time. It's just amazing. But
that's
it's
awesome.
exactly what you're talking about, using your gift to paint a bigger picture, kind of.
Yeah. And so like and I don't think you know a lot of people have asked like how big do you want the live to go? Do you want it to be hundreds of people or a couple of people? It to me it doesn't matter. If there's only one
Yeah.
person in the live, that's fine. If there's two, that's great. Whatever. A lot of times
Right.
people come in because it's quite intimate. And it could be like 15 people, maybe 5. And that's fine, right? Because we can all sit there and enjoy the three things, which is the art, music, and people, right? We can get that done, and I can finish off, have my decompression, and then I'll end the live by saying humankind be both,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Hey, Pamela. So the you know your strategy or your approach is it's like Johnny Appleseed. It kind of also forces other people to plant their own seeds, if that analogy
Yes.
makes sense, right? You
Yes.
plant seeds, and then those people go and plant seeds, and that's how we build communities. I believe that's how we build durable communities, communities that
Exactly.
last.
Exactly.
Or they've grown from these seeds that each of us have had a little part in. You know, SA Artistries in the chat has
Yes.
started doing like some gardening stuff, and she also does
Hmm.
some content where she just gives like a positive message. Um,
Yeah.
you know, she just finds all these different ways to spread art and to spread positivity. Um,
Hmm.
Pamela Walsh, who is in the chat, goes over and does poetry She, another person that does all kinds of stuff. The point being is, um, it's great seeing you in this community moving the way that you move,
Yeah.
because you could move differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And very justifiably so. But
Yeah.
you choose to move the way that you move, and I really respect it because I really think it elevates all of us.
Yeah.
I think it gives all of us a little higher something to shoot for, right? Um,
Definitely.
and I love this idea. Another thing I mentioned Flash earlier, and the reason I mentioned him is, like I said, this, what you would expect to be kind of this average guy. If you listen to him, that's how he would describe himself to you.
Yeah.
But really doing these amazing things, right? Really going the extra mile. He
Mm-hmm.
identified a problem and he started a charity to do something about it, and that sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
So so in your case, Dusty, you also have this other kind of, like, for example, you were telling me about a paper crane goal that you do in your
Yes.
lives. If you get a certain number of paper cranes, you mentioned it earlier that you would do like a silly dance or something like
Silly
that.
dance.
But my
That's how it
point
works.
is that you do something self-deprecating in order for the good cause because you believe it'll make people laugh, it'll
I
give them a
mean,
good
I
day,
mean, it
and
could be self-deprecating, or it could just look really good. Like, it could be
right,
either way.
right. For me, it's going to be a self-deprecating thing if I'm dancing, but we'll give it a
Exactly.
rip.
Right.
but
Right.
but but the beautiful thing about it is the amount of humility that has to come with that commitment.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't make any bones about, like, how good of an artist I am, or how crazy I could be on a live, or how many voices I can make in a singular live. But it is, I just, as long as I can have fun, as I can get a couple smiles out of people's faces, that's fine. Right.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, so if folks wanted to get involved, if they wanted to come by your live, or if they wanted to donate to one of your charities or get involved,
Mhm.
how do they? What's the best way for people
Well, the best way to
to get
do it
up
is
with
if they
you?
get in. The best way to do it, if they want to get involved, is in the link tree in my bio. There's the very first link is the JDRF charity, right? They click on that and they can see where that money goes to, and how much we've raised so far, just through the link tree alone, and uh, that's been very successful. The anti cruelty charity was that charity has now ended because I'm working with a different one. So I was trying to get that last one activated, but right now it's currently just the type 1 diabetes one. And so that's the best way to do it, is through that. Or they can send gifts through the lives as well. The only thing is like when they do that, which is fine, it's very easy to do, but TikTok always takes like a portion of that. But it's much more easier to just if you want to go onto the Linktree and go from there. And that's probably the best way. And then after that marathon, it could be another charity. Well, we're looking at some new charities and seeing what can be started, and supporting people that might need it.
And you
It's
had
not for me,
in
it's
our
for everybody else.
right. Well, you had some ideas too that we briefly discussed that I've heard you mention as well. That someone that doesn't have money but they have time, how do they
Yes.
contribute?
Now, what's really nice about that is the fact is, I don't need, you don't need the money. If you got the time, you tap those likes, right? Because the more you tap those likes in those lives, it'll bring the lives like us into an FYP where people can come in. And so what I'll do is, like, when I'll do like a run, and I'm saying hit those likes, because if I can hit a certain amount of likes, a threshold, I'll do a silly dance as well. And all I'm trying to do is what everybody else is doing in those lives. You don't have to spend a penny. You just hit those likes, gets it in FYP. Someone new comes in, and then I can say, guess what? This is the JDRF charity. This is an awareness for type 1 diabetes. We're trying to work with this charity. We're just going to bring awareness. And all it takes is a couple taps on the screen, and it brings people to that type of awareness. That's it. There's no money that needs to be. It's just the awareness of it. And so if I can just encourage people to, like, okay, if you want me to self-deprecate, I'll go ahead and say, if I can make 30,000 likes in this, I'll do something crazy, right? And so that'll be something fun. That'll just give someone the incentive to do, all right, I'll just sit there and tap on until he makes a fool of himself.
Right. Hey, Dark, good to see you. Yeah, there's, the thing about it is that's one thing I like about this platform is you don't actually have to be wealthy. You don't have to have any money at all to support other artists. If you could just spend the time, if you can just show up in
Yes.
their spot for a little while and give them some
Show up,
taps and some likes.
tap the likes, and interact with everybody else in the comments and make it fun, right?
Right.
So
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All the free stuff.
definitely. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and so we would be remiss. We wanted to. You mentioned your brothers earlier
Yes.
and their service,
Hmm.
um, but you also in our interview you talked about your mom
Yes.
and
So my
and
mother, my oh, go ahead.
no, I just wanted to say so. I wanted to make sure that we brought her up in real time, like
Yes.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. So my mom, she was a big Bob Ross fan. So she always loved to paint the landscapes, which got me into the art. She was a teacher, so she was able to. I learned a lot. Like, she taught at a country school, and so she taught several grades at once. And so I grew up with her as a teacher. She became a principal at a school. But then later in her years, she got back into college and got her master's in microbiology. And so then she spent the next 30 years of her life looking through microscopes and developing vaccines for animals. And she worked at the Veterinary Science Research Laboratory, and helped. And I learned a lot about the microbiology and that aspect of how vaccines are able to help, right? And so I was very enthralled by that type of science. So she was a scientist from that aspect. And so when I saw a lot of the microscopy community as well, it just kind of brought me back home. Um, you know, um, so she's an amazing woman. She's very smart, and I really I'm lucky to have her in my life as well.
Now we have copy of it. We have footage of this. It wasn't just in a private phone call. It was public conversation. So, Mom, if you're listening, your son loves you. He gives you
Right,
lots of credit, and he gave you even more credit in the private conversation. So,
right,
good
yes.
job, Mom. You're doing an
Hmm.
amazing. You raised an amazing son, and we appreciate you, Mom, if you're out there.
Yes. Thank you so much.
uh, and this idea that you went to art college instead. Thank you. There's Flash Gordon. We were talking about Flash Gordon earlier,
Uh-oh. Flash
folks.
Gordon's here.
And Flash Gordon and Petra and others are the ones that have put together this website that I was talking about that has to do with autism. Spurs, who was in here earlier, is an artist, and she makes these felt storyboards for tactilely for people that
Oh, yeah.
have the tactile stuff
Yes.
going on. And those will
We
be, for
need.
example, those will be available on the website. So
Okay,
this
perfect.
artist community is doing some amazing things. I hope that you and Flash Gordon at some point meet each other and get to talk
We'll connect.
because both of you sound a very similar clarion call.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I hope that Flash, if you're listening to me, brother, make sure you stop by this Dusty Graphics fellow. You guys would definitely vibe for sure. So and the same Dusty. Uh, Flash has this kind of open invitation with me and Chad. Let us know what you got going on. We'll try to always shout it out on the show.
Let's do it.
So I
I'm
hope
ready to
you know
connect.
that you have the same open invitation to us.
Sure.
And you got
Let's do
something
it.
going on, you hit us
Yeah.
up, and we'll make sure that we shout it out for you on our show for whatever it's
Sure.
worth.
Definitely.
And you made a really good point earlier too Good to see you, Flash. Good. You made a point earlier
What up,
too
Matt?
about it doesn't matter how many people are in the room, and let me tell you why I believe that's a true statement. Because I have learned from my own experience that the Gin Project platform goes well beyond anything that I am or could do. Um, and it's because of the people involved. It's because of the moderators. It's because of Chad. It's because of folks like you. It's because people see value in working together, right? People see value in lifting each other up. So I appreciate you for being a leader in the community, man, for stepping
Thanks, man.
forward and for showing the way.
Yeah.
You in a lot of respects are exactly that, a leader in the art community, and you may even shy away from that terminology given the humbleness that you carry. But
Yeah.
the fact is you are finding ways to get people involved in art, and you are
Yes.
using that to help other people.
Hmm.
So I think it's a win-win, man. And it sounds to me like it fulfills you as well.
It does.
And that also is, yeah. Chad
There
been
we
through the
go.
wars, man. He got all kinds of
Yes, man.
tattoos.
I got myself marked up. That's it. There we go.
So has there been
Hold up.
anything
Ask
that
Dusty
you and I
when
talked about?
Western dance.
Go ahead.
I got
No,
a question.
go
Ask
ahead, man.
Dusty when we'll see the dance. Hoist of Vandellis,
Oh,
I believe.
yeah. No, that could be later. not, not now though, right? Not now. I mean,
Just
Well,
just
that's
read in the chats, brother. Just
the
yes, yes,
dances happen on Dusty's lives when he gives
yes,
certain, like, it may be a crane goal, a paper crane goal,
yes.
or it may be
Paper
a
crane
likes
goals.
goal, or it may be a
Yes.
share goal. And I
Hmm.
can tell you, Dusty changes the goals. It isn't always something that costs money, right? It could be the amount of
Yeah,
likes or the amount of
yeah.
shares or
There's been
whatever.
some. There's been some cartwheels. I've been to doing some cartwheels. Get
Now
those done.
listen, we need this man performing his art, so let's not get him injured, right? He's already running
Listen,
marathons, and
listen.
I think, if I'm not
I
mistaken, he once wrestled an alligator, and
two of them. Two of them.
two of them, two.
Yes, 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 yes.
The legend is great,
And then probably an emu of some sort.
and
Probably.
boxed a kangaroo, maybe something. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah. No, the kangaroo boxed with me. So
Right, right.
right.
Well, there's an amazing array of artists in the chat. I'm
Yes.
sure your chats are the same. So
Yeah.
Dusty was kind enough to say, and I want to give him opportunity to change his mind. But is it okay to open up some questions here and there? Uh,
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. Like, go
for
ahead
the
and yeah, I'm able to answer some questions.
So anybody that had questions, drop them in the chat, and we'll try to make sure we get them to Dusty. The ones in my chat, I'll read to him, or feel free jump over to his live and drop them right in his chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's the thing about the numbers. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
thank you, Flash.
No, I apologize for a lot of people that were in the chat. I apologize. I'm doing my best to kind of read it, but I'm zeroed in on focusing on you guys at this moment. I do really
Yeah.
good, and one of the reasons why I like some of the lower numbers in the lives is because like I can interact with everybody as I'm drawing. If it gets to the point where there's like hundreds, like I have to
Can't
sit
keep
there
up.
and like I can't keep up. I have to just focus on the art. But I just like to interact with like whoever's there as best as I can. So, but yeah, I'm able to answer any questions. I'll look at my chat while you guys look at yours.
Does the question that I have here
Thank you.
is coming from Mike Crosscope. Does Dusty have a favorite artistic genre, like fantasy, steampunk, etc.?
That's tough. I mean, right now it kind of leaned into to fantasy, but I think that's just because like that's where a lot of people see it from and say, "Hey, there's a fantasy artist, I can do that." But like when I say that I'm pretty much going to be open to anything, it'll be open to anything, right? I mean, I do draw the line at certain themes per se,
Of
but
course, right.
what I kind of was influenced a lot by Boris Vallejo, Frank Frazetta, some of those classic fantasy artists from back in the day. I love those type of artists, and so I kind of like grew up in that aspect. And of course, you know, where I grew up at was a small little town in the middle of in the Midwest, and so I just had some comic books to kind of follow, and so I just kind of like got into the Marvel comic book world, and kind of, you know, learned some of the styles from that way as well, and just kind of developed my own. So
Right on. Right on. Well, hopefully that answered your question, Mike.
mhm.
Appreciate you dropping a question in the chat for him.
Was that Microscope that asked that question? Was his name Microscope?
Yes, yes,
Oh, his name.
yes.
You just to listen. Just
I,
his.
I,
He doesn't
I
actually
messed it
sound
up
like
because I
that.
don't have my glasses
You
on.
know, he doesn't. He doesn't sound like that. He sounds like an old man who lives in the old prospector mines back in the old '06 when I used to eat rocks as in my lunches per se. So anyway,
Just for the nourishment from the rock.
yes,
He says, "Oh, here he goes."
yes, there he goes. Yep, there it is.
So, so do you, outside of your digital art, do you do any other kinds of art?
I've done like woodworking stuff. I think back in the pandemic days, I was doing a lot of uh, like the beanbag or the cornhole boards, and I would do LEDs and I'd light them up, and I would sell those for a while. So I would be able to kind of work on that aspect. I would use uh, I would use a Cricut and I would draw things out, and I would make like um, this is a light board. So on the back end is kind of like a lot of LEDs, and it would light up and it would kind of show. I'd use a Cricut and kind of just, you know,
Is that
make
cut out
custom
paper?
shapes for these light boards. This is card, yes, card stock, and each layer is like a different drawing, and it would be cut out by the Cricut, and then it would light up from the end, and so you can change the colors on it, and I can make whatever custom piece I ever needed, and then I would just, you know,
Wow.
either make one of these or buy them from like a Hobby Lobby or something, and then just build these and make spacers and put LEDs in the back end.
Nice.
So that's
Right
another thing that I
on.
would do as well.
Dude is just creative. That's the point I was trying to get across. The guy's just creative. It almost, if you weren't a digital artist, you'd be an artist of some kind, somewhere,
Something.
somehow,
Yeah, either
something.
that or I'd play saxophone. So,
That's okay too, man.
oh yeah, I played saxophone. I played weddings or whatever. I've done that before. So yeah, I've played
Well,
saxophone.
there's one that I didn't even know, man. He's breaking out all the
Yeah,
good stuff. So
I
you and
mean,
Chad are
yeah.
going to be
Nice.
making commercials together now. Is that the
Let's
thing?
do it, right?
I'm in, man. Totally in.
We'll make some sort of art community band of some sort. That'll work.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Flash,
Yes.
has there been any Flash? Damn it, I got Flash on my brain now. I'm sorry, Dusty.
Nah.
Has there been anything that we talked about in the phone conversation that we didn't get to in the
No,
actual
no,
interview
we
today?
covered quite
I
a
don't want to
we
miss
covered quite a bit.
anything.
No, we covered quite a bit, and then of course I just don't want to bore everybody that's in the live for the time being. So you know, I
Man,
think we
nobody's
covered a lot.
bored.
I mean, it you know, in the end, it's basically just we're here to kind of help everybody else out, and as you can tell, like the last thing I'm thinking about when I'm doing these is myself, right? So I'm doing these for the charities. I'm doing this for other people. Um, I maybe once in a while I'll throw in a piece that I've done myself that I wanted to give it a try. But I actually one of my favorite pieces I've done for myself that I allowed myself to do is called the Order of the Food, which is basically all the mascots of all the restaurants. I've done like
I love
fancy
that one,
characters of
man.
it,
I
and I
saw
pinned it
that.
on the I pinned it on the very top just because it's one of my favorites, right? But most of everything else is for everybody else. That's everybody else's pieces that come from their heads, and the rest of it's for like things like the charity. So
Right on. Right on. Chad, you got anything, buddy?
Yo,
Anything?
I don't
You
think
got
so,
anything?
man. I
Covered it pretty
I don't
good.
think so.
they were good. I think we're
Dude,
good.
Dusty, thank you for coming on here today. Like,
Yes, definitely.
incredible, dude. Like, Thank you very
So
much.
like next time
I
I'm
love
on,
your, I love your
we're all
work.
gonna wear ties, right? We're gonna wear ties. And I'll do a bow
Gotcha,
tie next
gotcha.
time.
I'm in.
Tell you what, I'll show up on your
I'm in.
show one day and I'll bring a tie. How about
Do
that?
it, man. Right.
Chad and I'll come
Yep.
make a visit.
Yep. Yep.
We'll wear ties. How about that?
Yes, definitely, definitely,
Y'all,
definitely.
Kit Kat,
I'm in.
Ethnic Greetings just joined. If you haven't followed Kit Kat, please do. She does some amazing art.
Yes, yes. Kit Kat
Kit
does
Kat
amazing.
is an
Yes, she
amazing
does.
artist.
In fact, I won a raffle that she did, and she did a painting of me, which is great. I should really show that off. I'm so sorry. She did one. Yeah, it's amazing. It's awesome. So yeah,
She
follow Kit
also
Kat in the chat.
she also shows up. She showed up to SA's event down in Atlanta last month or the month
That's
before
awesome.
last. Her and Keefe came. Really amazing. So yeah. I just wanted to make sure to recognize Kit Kat there. She's I knew
Kat's
that
amazing
Kit Kat had some ties to Dusty.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Another amazing artist that's out there is Nelly Artistic Energy. Another person that I really
Yeah,
like
she's
that
been
is
roaming
always
around
out there
here.
kind of doing cool stuff. Um, SA Artistries did one of her Friday You Pick It, She Paints It, and it's got Nelly strolling across the street in Chicago. So she's
go.
now an anime baddie, is
That's
what she
awesome.
refers to it as. Hey, Whitney! Whitney is one of the people that was at the beginning to help Flash start the autism charity. So there's another
That's
example of an
amazing.
amazing human being
Hi,
out
Whitney.
there doing awesome stuff.
Yes.
Is there anybody else that had any questions in any of the other chats? While we got Dusty here, now's our chance.
That's great.
Anyone?
SA just said in the chat, you really inspired me to do some new things as far as raising donations. Thank you so much. So see, this is kind of what's going on, is we're able to give the people ideas to actually do something that we're able to kind of change the environment and do something good for everybody else.
You know,
Yes.
one of SA's dreams is to use her art, and if she ever was like super famous, what she would do is build a community center. And she talks about things like having a community kitchen, having a community garden, having services like occupational therapy type services, having some social work services, some drug rehab services. I mean, she would like to build the actual community center. So she is another one of those people that's on the same page that
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
sees this bigger picture,
Yes.
like Flash. So SA
Mm-hmm.
Artistries is definitely we're biased because she is one of our close friends. So
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna rep SA
No,
either
it's
way.
cool.
But
She's a great supporter of everybody. She comes into my life every now and then and just kind of hangs out for a bit. So yeah, she's a great supporter of a
yes,
lot of people.
she's way better at that than Chad and I are. I mean, we try, but she's a good example of she gets it
Yeah.
all done somehow. I don't know how
There's
she does it.
Yeah, and I think what I'll do is there's some other artists that end up coming into that I'd like probably would throw out to you that pretty much do somewhat similar to me that you probably want to get to know. So I'll go ahead and kind of send you some contacts as well.
Right on.
Cool.
Yeah, please do that. Please do that. Because we are definitely trying to help do our small part, Chad and I, in building this artist community. That's what this whole show
do
is
it.
about.
We can't do it
Every
without each other.
Tuesday,
Man.
Yep.
every Tuesday, the show is dedicated to an artist like yourself that we think is doing
Awesome.
something bigger than themselves. So,
Yes.
hey, if we could, and pick a color. What color do you like, sir? Do you have a
Usually my
preference? I
default-
like purple.
My default is green. My default is green, but I
Green?
kind of switch between green and blue.
So if we could, all right, green and blue. Blue is the hearts that we use for Chad. So y'all know what to do. If you could, would you please drop some green hearts in the chat for us, in all the chats? And then if we also, our usual players, could please get us a couple screenshots of those green hearts in the chat.
You guys,
Thank you,
that's
Goopy.
awesome.
Appreciate you, Goopy. Thank you, Enigma. Appreciate y'all. Keep dropping the green hearts in the
Thank you,
chat.
Natasha.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
That's awesome, guys. at
Make
that.
sure
That's awesome.
we get a screenshot. If
I
there's
love it.
anybody capable of getting a screenshot, please get us a couple
That's
screenshots
amazing.
and I imagine all 3 chats are full of green hearts right now.
Yeah, mine's blowing up with green hearts, guys. I gotta get a screenshot of that.
Awesome. Thank y'all for doing that. Thank y'all so much. That's
awesome.
cool of y'all for
That's
participating,
amazing.
dropping some
Yes.
green hearts there for him.
I love
Hey, man.
that. I love that. I love this. I love that. Like choosing the
Haley,
color and then just start showing your support.
Rashad, thank you, Rashad. Our good friend Haley Beth, who's in the chat, she's our favorite diamond dot artist. She came up with that concept,
Yes.
and she uses purple
I love
hearts
it.
for me, blue hearts for Chad. She uses the hand hearts for SA Artistries. Tiffany has pink hearts. Nightmare has black hearts. So you now have green hearts, sir.
That's awesome. I love it. I love that. That's great.
You now have green hearts.
There we go.
So thank
Amazing,
you.
guys.
Thank you, Haley Beth. If anybody that's not
We got more
following
coming
Haley
through.
Beth, that's our little sister. And
That's amazing.
Yep.
Element Rose is in the house. Thank you, Element,
Hi,
for
Enigma.
coming through.
Yes.
Element
Yeah,
helped me
Flash.
get these designs situated where I could get them printed.
That's awesome.
So between
awesome.
Chad and her, I was able to get both sites done. So thank you, Element Rose. You're
Hi,
amazing.
Enigma. Hi,
All
Element.
right.
So
Well-
Sammy also had green hearts. So you got to share your green hearts with Sammy B. But she's pretty cool people, and she also does a lot of stuff for other folks. If you're not familiar with
That's
Sammy
amazing.
B, make sure you check her out. Are you familiar with Sammy
I will.
B?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm familiar with a lot of them, so I'll make sure to get everybody followed here. It's awesome.
Right on, right on. Is there anything at all other than the flat Earth debates that we haven't covered?
Let's not do that.
And what is your position, flat or round?
Round. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. I belong to the science community. That's the only way to go.
Right on. Right.
I think
on.
it's a double
Well,
helix.
And what? And what that reference is one of the
Thinking
things
back.
that we discussed was Dusty would go into the flat Earth chats conversation and had conversation with folks, and
Yeah.
out of that came some cool stuff. So I mean, this
Yeah.
dude could go anywhere. He could go
Yes.
anywhere and show some love.
Yes. Show some love, man. Show some love. I'll be
And
friends
Flash
with
Gordon dropped a
everybody.
bunch of Earths for you in the chat.
Yes. Definitely.
Come on, Gid, it's round. I agree with you,
I'm
buddy. It's
really-
definitely round.
I'm really big into
Double
physics. I was
helix.
big into the universe. I was always enjoying this aspect and studied a lot of it. So I was really big into it. So
Yes.
that is something that I'm always going to kind of gravitate towards is the science community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Chad and I are with you on that deal.
Absolutely.
100%.
All right.
Chad, my friend, do you have
Yes, sir.
anything? Is there any announcements to make? Anything that I've missed that I didn't think of? Anybody we didn't shout out? We need to shout out. Oh, Nightmare. Keep giving you love to Nightmare. She's on a 3-week cycle now for her chemo, and I got to see her fishing.
Oh wow,
Hey, Painting. I got to see her fishing today. So
that's awesome.
that's pretty
Awesome.
cool. Make sure
I'm
we
with
keep
y'all that
showing
hit
her
me up.
love.
We'll do.
There's a few of y'all in the background. I'm with you guys still. I didn't forget about you. I'm right here.
And Dusty, you're family, man. If you got personal number, if you need anything, call.
I got you.
If we can be of help, we will. If we can't, we'll tell you no and try to figure out who can. So,
Yes. Same goes the other way around, man. Same goes the other way around.
so
I'm right here
and
for you.
please don't be taken back if you don't see us too much in lives and stuff. It's just a time thing, man. It isn't that
No,
it
that's
isn't that we
perfectly
don't want to
understandable.
support you. It's
Perfectly
just we
understandable.
trying to do it all.
That's a lot.
This right here is Dusty Graphics, ladies and gentlemen.
Matt.
And he has a tattoo on his arm, and it is relative to the dash between a birth date and a deceased date. And he lives according to that code, and I 100% believe that he does. He shows it. So please follow Dusty Graphics. Please give the man your support. Right now, his the art that he is doing is supporting Type 1 Diabetes charity. And for those of you, there's Nightmare right there. There she is. for those of you that don't know, Ginn, my stepfather, Skipper Ginn, was a type 1 diabetic, and he died at 63 years old, and a lot of it had to do with complications from his diabetes. And he lived with my wife and I when he passed. One of the proudest things that I've ever done. I was the last person to speak to my dad, and I was the last one with him. And so it means a lot to me, Dusty, personally, that you would do this.
I don't think it could have been done without everybody that like loved to follow, loved to love those arts and made those donations, and then also all they need to do is tap those likes to get awareness of those type of charities, especially the type 1 diabetes. They don't need to spend money. They just need to tap the likes, and that's what it is to bring awareness.
Absolutely.
So
my mother actually passed away from a number of things, all spurred by diabetes. So I appreciate you, man.
Yes. I have to appreciate, and don't thank me. Thank the people that wanted to get their art done, and thank people that made those donations. And I'm repaying that back by giving them the art that they want. So
yeah, you're putting up the big bat signal, man.
You want to thank,
sure.
You want to thank all those people that come down and show support to those artists, and the ones that want to come out and help out with those type of charities.
Well, I'll say it here publicly. I believe in this man 100%. Whatever he's got going on, we'll shout it out on our shows.
That's me.
We'll do what we can to be supportive of him. I hope that you would consider doing the same. And for those folks that came with Dusty, I've seen you in the chat. For those of you that were his folks that showed up, thank you so much for being here. We hope you felt welcome in our community,
Thank you so much.
in our little part of the community, I should say. And we hope to see more of you, certainly.
Perfect.
So
all right, guys.
Thank all of you.
Thank you so much. And I'm always going to sign off by saying, humankind, be both. You guys, I love you guys all. Thank you so much.
Much love,
Big love,
Dusty.
Dusty.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Dusty Graphics, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, man, that was dope, dude. That's so cool. I'm so glad we got to talk to that guy.
Thank you, Shirtlift Brothers. My couple of my real friends that are brothers are in my chat. Thank you, guys. Matt,
tell them to jump over here so I can follow them. Tell them to jump over real quick before we shut down so we can follow them.
Yeah. Go.
And make sure, for folks that are the folks that usually follow us, thank you for the green hearts. Y'all are amazing. And make sure to follow the names that you don't recognize because they came with Dusty. And every one of them are amazing people. There's just follow each other. Look out for each other. That's what we're trying to do. Is build a community here. So,
thanks,
Pippi, for sure, make sure to give Pippi a follow, please. Give Wendy a follow. Wendy has the handle where she's doing this, and there's a. So give Wendy a follow because I just like her handle. And anybody else that came in here with Dusty, we hope you felt welcome. Thank you for supporting that man. He's one hell of a good dude. And I'm really excited that he came on and talked to us for a little while. Speaking of one hell of a good dude, I'm going to take just a few more minutes of your time, and I'm going to talk about this guy right over here. He doesn't know I'm about to do this, so he's about to get embarrassed. But you might notice on his head, he's wearing a Cutsaw hat. And our good friend a couple weeks ago was picked up by Cutsaw, and he is one of, 180? Is that right? Or 280 or something like that?
185.
185 representatives that he's one of them. And he told me when we first started talking that one of his goals was to get picked up by Cutsaw. So I think we've accomplished that, right? I'm gonna say we because
dude, thank you for helping me get here. As much as all the people
I've been talking
in the chat,
shit with you.
Thank you. Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
So
Thank you.
Do you have anything about that you wanted to share? And I got some more shit too, man. So
go to cutsall.com, get your carbide abrasives, and make sure when you check out you put Chad Rev for your code. All caps, no spaces. You'll get a discount, and it helps support me as well. Thank you, Cutsall. Thank you, Mr. Oliver from Oliver Corporation. Appreciate you guys. Oliver Carbides.
Thank you guys because you helped make it happen. That's the cool thing about this. The community helped make that happen.
Absolutely.
My main man, Chad Rev Art,
Absolutely.
is now representing Kutzall Tools and being a wood carver. That's a pretty big deal, y'all. So
Cuts all affiliate. Thank you,
we're gonna
thank you,
show him.
thank you, guys.
We're gonna show him some love for that. And I'm also gonna remind you that you could go to his page, his bio. This is the spring version. I don't know how long it's gonna be available, but you can
Only
go
through
get you one of these
spring.
Chad Rev Art shirts.
Thank you, Pippi.
And if you do, we'll say nice things about you.
We will. We most definitely will.
And if
Thank you.
you want to rep somebody, um, do so. Find us in our find us, send us a message, let us know, tell us about them, and we'll try to
Yeah.
make sure we rep them on the show. All these amazing artists back here we got to go over today. We're going to keep doing that again and again. And all the amazing artists that join us in the chat, we appreciate. There's so
Uh-huh.
many of y'all.
The
We
real
haven't
goopy
asked
goop.
one time for shares or likes or whatever, and there's 33,000 likes on mine. And I saw a bunch of times people sharing the live. So thank y'all so much. Thank you for being so supportive. Thank you for being an amazing community, sincerely. And please support guys like the guest we had on tonight, Dusty Graphics, who is dedicating a significant portion of his life. And also guys like Flash Gordon in the chat here. So
The real goopy
much
goop.
love to you, Wendy. Thank you so much for coming through. Really hope you enjoyed yourself. Another thing we got going on with Chad Rev Art over here is you can also get some Gen Project merch at his spot, or you can go to the Gen Project, and soon you'll be able to get some Chad Rev Art merch there as well. So
All getting worked
I'm
up.
glad, Wendy. I'm glad. So each Tuesday we do this show called the Gen Project Show. It comes on at 7:00 p.m. Chad Rev Art is always the co-host, but don't let that fool you, because the reason this show exists is because Chad Rev Art asked me to be the co-host on his show. And when I foolishly agreed to do that, then we started coming up with the concept for my show. And we all have Painting at Tiffany's to blame for that. So,
Yes.
Painting at Tiffany's, thank you. We appreciate you. Much love. And if you hadn't heard us talking about SA Artistries today,
You ain't been listening.
you hadn't been listening. Yeah, guilty. You are guilty, Painting. So, SA Artistries has a Friday night. You pick it, she paints it coming up this week. Haven't dropped any suggestions on what should happen this week. We might just leave it up to the powers that be, right?
We might. We
Probably
might.
not. Probably
We
not.
might buy
We
up
just don't
all
want
the
to tell you the
spaces.
plan.
We might buy up all the spaces and wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or we might just
Ambassador.
let things, let things roll natural.
Right? Right.
See you later,
Thank you,
Esme.
Nightmare.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Esme. Appreciate you. And if you didn't see Ambassador Hanson just stop through, make sure you give Ambassador Hanson a follow. He is the one responsible for the One Artist Community hashtag that you find at the bottom of this live. And that one is spelled with the number 0. So 0 NE Artist Community. That's one way you can rep the artist community on here. And that was
Use
created by our
it.
good friend and Ambassador Hanson. Davino calls him the architect. And if Davino, the voice of God, calls him the architect, then I'm okay with that too. So
Yeah, I mean,
there we go. Anything that you got, Chad? Did I miss anything? Have I missed anybody?
Nagini,
Probably.
welcome back, buddy. You all make sure you have your notifications on because I think I'm about to start actually going flow state carving this again. This one here.
Yes.
My girl. So make sure you got your notifications on. Don't play around.
And if you're roaming around out there, show some love to Nelly Artistic Energy, just because we love some Nelly Artistic Energy.
Yes.
Nightmare. Flow States, you can catch me with SA Artistries on Saturday morning doing a flow state. And you can catch Chad and I doing flow states whenever. So you got to turn the notifications on to catch us.
We've gone rogue for the most part. We used to do shows, 5 days a week.
Thank you, Pippi.
Now we don't. Now we went rogue. Hanson,
Don't went rogue.
thank you, sir. We gone up and done it. Thank you, Nightmare.
Rick the Muse,
All right.
Friday nights, check him out. He works with SA to make sure their times don't overlap. This is Chad Rev Art, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to his spot, get merch, and make sure that the lady in the chat right here, Nightmare, that's who I was talking about, is going through her treatments that I got to see fishing today. So please stop through. Every once in a while, she likes it if you tease just a little bit with her. Just tease with her just a little bit. Nothing
But
too
be
bad.
nice.
Just tease with her. But be nice. But just a little bit. Just keep
What's
it
up,
laughing.
BLT? We're just closing out, my
BLT.
brother. BLT in the
Dipping
house.
BLT, but we love you, brother.
Bro, I haven't been on here much, but I need to go and see what you've been working on, man. Send me a link if you think about it, because my brain is scattered and I am crazy, insanely busy right now. So send me a link. I
came
want to
with
see what
Dusty.
you're working on, dude.
Make sure to follow
Here.
Osteo. Osteo came with Dusty.
BLT.
Yeah,
just a
check
quick
that out,
preview.
y'all. That's
Quick
mahogany
preview,
he's
homie.
carving.
This is very old mahogany. It was a gift from McGinster.
Oh no, I'm sending you a bill now. I want my wood
Oh,
back.
you better send a bill. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now.
I'm gonna
Hey,
wait
thanks,
for you to get done
BLT.
carving it, and then be like, "Hey, I want it back."
I want that piece of wood back. You know that piece of wood's older than you? Yeah, I'm gonna need that back now. I'm gonna send you a bag of this freaking silt cinnamon-like sawdust that it makes.
Right on. That's just what
If
I
you guys
need.
have never
Some of
messed with 50-year-old mahogany, that's what you get. You see that? Look at that.
That's crazy. It's like powder.
My wife came out here earlier. I had the bay door open. She came out and she was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "You like it?" She was talking about all the dust. She was like, "You're not kidding. That stuff's really fine." I was like, "I thought you were talking about, oh my God, the sculpting looks cool." She's like, "Well, that too." I said, probably could have led with that, dear. Been doing
Coulda led
spoons
with
and their
that.
big gardens. Cool. BLT's been doing big garden spoons. Cool.
Right on. Right on.
All right, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Chad. I love you, brother. It was good
Love you
to be
too,
back.
homeboy.
Anybody that I missed in this last week, I was gone. I was at my brother's, then I was at military brother's birthday, so I wasn't on at all for the week. So it might take me some time to catch up on your messages and whatnot, but I will do that.
And I was
Thank
working
everybody
in
for
private.
stopping in. Appreciate y'all. DLT, good to see you, brother. And look out for each other. Be kind to each other. Lift each other up. Don't tear each other down. How about that? Cool?
Do your part.
All right.
It's that simple.
Chad Rev Art, y'all. Thank y'all so much. We love you. We look forward to seeing you again next week or during one of our flow states.
Or Thursday, Chad Rev Art Show.
Oh, wait. There's a Chad Rev Art show? We do that?
Shh, don't tell anybody.
That's Thursday at 7, y'all. I'll be your co-host.
I'll 6
I'll be the
Central.
smart ass down in the corner.
6 Central. 7 Eastern Thursdays. Cuts all, y'all. I'm out.
Later, y'all. Appreciate you, everybody. Much love.